All right, so Commissioner Malone, if you'll hold on, we'll go ahead and vote on essential function. Your second will remain on the essential function, and then we'll come back and vote on the agenda portion. All right, is there any questions about the essential function? Seeing or hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
White. White. White.
Can you hear me?
White.
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me, Greg?
Yes, she was just calling your name to vote yes or no on the essential function portion.
Okay, yes.
Madam Clerk, Commissioner Lott voted yes.
Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Edens.
Yes.
Davenport.
Yes.
Matherly.
Yes.
England.
Yes.
Malone.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Carragher.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Hester.
Yes.
McAllister.
Yes.
Wheeler.
Yes.
Ford. Ford.
Yes.
15 yes.
All right, 15 yes, the motion passes. Now we'll drop down and consider our agenda. Items on the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I make the motion.
Commissioner Lott makes the motion to approve the agenda. Do I have a second?
Second. Williams, second.
Commissioner Williams seconds the agenda. Now, do we have any? Thank you, Commissioner Williams. Commissioner Williams seconds the agenda. Commissioner Malone, we'll come back to your amendment. Your amendment was to remove resolution on page 3, 20-0407. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
And Commissioner Jones, is your second? You still apply to your second?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. All right, we'll go ahead and handle that one right now as an amendment to the original motion. Any questions or discussion on the amendment of removing this item?
Which one is that again?
Call the question.
Question's been called. Madam Clerk, if you'll call the roll, please, on the amendment to remove item 20-0407.
White.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Edens.
Yes.
Davenport.
Yes.
Matherly.
Yes.
England.
Yes.
Malone.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Carragher.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Hester.
Yes.
McAllister.
Yes.
Wheeler.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
15 yes.
15 yes, and the amendment passes. Is there any other items for consideration this evening on the agenda? All right. We will be back to the agenda as amended. Is there any questions or discussion on the agenda as amended? Seeing none. Madam Clerk, if you'll call the roll on the agenda as amended, please.
Light,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carragher,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tester,
Yes.
McAllister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
15 yes.
15 yes, and the motion is passed. The agenda is amended. The next item is the Planning and Zoning report. Most of these items are minutes to the March 10th and April 7th meeting of the Regional Planning Commission. Found on page 5 and 7. Angie Charles is with us this evening if you have any questions. Is there any questions for Ms. Charles? Seeing none. Thank you, Angie, for being with us. We appreciate you. Thank you. Item that you'll have is the Board of County Commissioners, the minutes from the February 24th meeting that were previously mailed to you. Is there a motion to accept these minutes?
Go ahead, I'll call it.
Move to approve.
This is Jody. I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Wheeler, seconded by Commissioner Jones to approve the minutes or accept the minutes of the last meeting. Discussion or questions? Seeing none or hearing none. Madam Clerk, if you'll call the roll, please.
Light,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carragher,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tester,
Yes.
McAllister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
15 yes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Then that motion passes. The next is Resolution 2002 or 2002-13A. It's a resolution of support of the proposed terms of authority to execute interlocal agreement. Now, the reason I bring this to you on the agenda this evening is, corrections and amendments to the resolution. One of the things that I wanted to bring it back to you for your review. I know there's been several questions today, several questions that have come up arising about it, and one of the questions was it hadn't been back to the committee, and we understand that. Really tonight, I just wanted to bring this to your attention. It's a difficult time of bringing these things to you and meeting together, but I wanted you to have and that was really our intent, is just for your review. So I guess I would be asking a motion just to defer it and give you an opportunity to study it, any of the changes to it.
I'll make the motion to defer it.
I'll say.
Motion made by Commissioner Light to defer, second by, was that Commissioner Harris?
Forward.
Motion made by, seconded by Commissioner Ford. Discussion on deferring it.
This is
Mr. Chairman, this
a question. Go
this
ahead.
is Commissioner Tester.
Yes,
Can you hear me?
Commissioner Tester. Yes.
I'm going to be abstaining on the vote and recusing myself from the discussion here because my employer is providing architectural and engineering design services for Johnson City on the Woodland Elementary School work.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Jones?
Yeah, I just have questions. Is there an urgency for us to get this voted through? How does our vote on this impact moving forward on the Jonesboro project?
Of course, I think that Jonesboro is working hard on their agreement in. I feel like Johnson City had some concerns last time of procedurally and things, and I think delaying it is not a huge issue, but I always want to let the mayor weigh in on that as well. Mayor, would you like to weigh in on that question?
Okay, I'm unmuted. Sorry about that. We've gotten some indication from the town of Jonesboro that the USDA was asking questions concerning it, and it doesn't appear that it is absolutely critical for that information now. But that's what brought it up and put it on this agenda to get it moving. So I think just have the opportunity to walk it a little slower, and if you don't want to consider it tonight, it doesn't have to be.
It's Susie. I want to say I went to the meeting where the city commissioners were considering it, and I got the impression they were delaying it strictly because there was some language in the resolution that needed to be cleaned up. Am I incorrect on that?
That is one of the things that it came back for. There was some procedural issues of attachments to the agreement. Allison had reviewed those, of course. I think as well, the committee would probably need to review it at some point in time. I don't know, whether we want to do this electronically or not, but I would like the commission to have a little more opportunity than what they've had to review it. I did have a few additional days to look at it and send it back through the proper procedurally way that we'd send it.
Excuse me, Chairman, this is Brian Davenport. Question, with the interlocal, this is about the interlocal agreement with Johnson City?
Correct.
Yes.
Well, I understand there's some language in there about litigation and stuff like that from the city, but how does this interlocal agreement affect us moving forward with the Jonesboro project, and how does this hold up anything with Jonesboro?
Mayor, I'll yield to you on that question.
Again, it was raised by the folks that the town of Jonesboro is working with on the loan. Just they had questioned, where it was in process. Frankly, it doesn't impact the Jonesboro resolution between the county and the town. That's already set. So, maybe Commissioner Wheeler would like to weigh in on that. We just got the inquiry asking what the status was.
I would agree with exactly what the mayor's saying. It doesn't impact it at all. There have been some calls made from one particular Johnson City resident to USDA, which has put it on their radar. They've just asked a question about where we were with the interlocal agreement, because that would certainly clear up any questions that this citizen was trying to raise. But it doesn't impact anything. I don't think it'll slow anything down. The town, I think, just wanted to ask that we go ahead and move forward, but there won't be any problem with giving the commissioners time to look at that. And I agree wholeheartedly with what Chairman Manley's saying.
Okay, I just wanted to make clear that this shouldn't slow our planning down with Jonesboro. That's correct. Commissioner Wheeler, is that correct?
That is correct.
Thank you.
All right. Is there any further questions before we vote, or raise your hand? All right, the question's been called to move this item, to defer this item. And Madam Clerk, if you'll go ahead and call the roll on that, please.
White,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Hatherley,
Yes. Yes.
England,
Yes.
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carriger,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Hester,
Abstain.
oh, sorry, McAllister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
14 yes, 1 abstain.
All right, we have the 10 yes, 1 abstained, and what was the other one, Madam Clerk?
14 yes, 1 abstain.
14 yes and 1 abstained. And so the motion passes to defer. All right, thank you. Our next item is under elections, appointments, and confirmations is Resolution 200404. Is a resolution appointing members to the Washington County Industrial Development Board, and it's on page 24. We have a motion.
So moved. Davenport.
Second, Carriger.
Motion made by Commissioner Davenport, seconded by Commissioner Carriger to approve the resolution. Discussion or questions? Seeing no questions or no discussion, Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
White,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carriger,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Hester,
No.
McAllister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford.
Yeah.
14 yes, 1 no.
14 yes and 1 no, the resolution passes. Next report is the report of the county mayor. Mayor Grandy?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just will briefly say that things continue to go on with the noted coronavirus. Obviously today marked the first day of some businesses opening. That would be the restaurants. Wednesday retail is allowed to open. Governor's still holding fast on small gatherings. As far as those being outlawed, and also some businesses, particularly contact businesses, hair salons, nail care facilities, tattoo operations, businesses like that, the governor said we're probably still several weeks away. Depending on the number of positive cases, that are recorded with these business openings. To date, we currently have 8 new cases in Washington County over the last 3 or 4 days, brings us to a total of 54 in Washington County. So a slight uptick, but not surprising considering that over 1,000 tests were done in the last week, and you all have information. So we're working now on this business recovery plan and trying to get help them get up and going and get our economy back running again, and doing it in a safe manner. So you may recall that the governor issued the Tennessee pledge for these 2 business openings that are taking place this week. And we're working on a campaign to log businesses that take the pledge to maintain social distancing and do the other CDC recommended processes in their business with their customers. So that's ongoing, still a lot of activity around that. I'll just stop now. If anybody has any questions, I'll try to answer those so you can get back to your meeting.
Commissioner McAllister?
Yeah, just Mayor, just how many of those 54, how many have recovered? Do we have those stats?
Yep, hang on just a minute. Don't go away. There's only 6 active cases currently. No, that's wrong. 10 active cases currently.
So 44 have recovered.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Jones?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, I think I saw in the paper that the plan was to continue with electronic meetings through May. Is that the plan, or was that something that we were going to bring up for discussion, or how is that going to go forward?
Well, right now we're still on groups no larger than 10 from the governor.
Yeah, I think as the situation changes, I think we'll address that just as soon as it does, Commissioner.
Yeah, the campaign that I mentioned with business recovery, this is something that we came up with that would indicate whether a business is in compliance with the Tennessee pledge, and try to develop a campaign that would help them promote their business to citizens and customers looking for a safe place to conduct business or maybe have a meal out.
All right. And where do the businesses get those at, Mayor?
Mr. Chairman, these are still a little bit sticky. The ink's just drying, so we're in the process of getting them printed and available to businesses and developing the campaign. So that's ongoing. We're just getting started.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Hot off the press.
All
Mr.
right.
Chairman,
Any other questions for the mayor?
No,
I've got a question, Mr. Chairman. It's Tester.
Commissioner Tester?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, are you anticipating continuing to renew the local state of emergency for the county? And if so, what are you looking for to stop renewing that?
Yeah, we're going to continue the state of emergency because it allows us to conduct business with our county employees the way we are currently doing it. The stay-at-home order component of that was replaced by the governor's already.
Okay. And are you looking for certain, I don't know, numbers in terms of cases, or any idea on, when the county operations with the employees could go back to more normal?
Yeah, so that's a great question. The thought process on that is county business is being conducted fairly efficiently the way we're operating, even though we're not allowing the public into archives, the courthouse, or the Johnson City location. But all functions that are conducted in those facilities are working fine with a little bit smaller staff. And so since it was the more critical issue was working with business and other sectors of the economy to get that rolling. And we'll come back to the county government side here in a few weeks. This will give us an opportunity to take a look and see what impact opening up retail, restaurants, and other businesses that will begin next week has on this, positive case number. Obviously the positive case increase that we're seeing here is not reflective of these businesses open, because these cases were reported from data from last week. So, but it's important to keep our most valuable asset in the county, our employees, safe. And if this helps do that, then we can continue to keep them safe and still conduct county business.
All right, got it. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Williams, did you have a question for the mayor?
And I wanted to ask if he has any indication how long the limitation of groups of 10 will be in place.
Do not. That's governor really has not given any indication on that. We expect to. I think we have a mayor's meeting with him on Wednesday, so maybe we'll get some insight there. But his focus is on getting businesses going and getting the economy going as well. So it's he's taking it one step at a time, trying to get business going, get the economy rolling, and keep people from getting sick as well. So I wish I had an answer for that. Maybe after Wednesday we'll know.
Thank you.
All right. Any further questions for the mayor? All right, hearing or seeing none. Our next report is our county attorney, who is working hard every day. And we're keeping her very busy. Allison, thank you for all that you do.
It's a pleasure. It's a privilege. Thank you. I will tell members of the CIA and the Rules Committee there were 2 items that I was going to report to the full commission, and I've asked Chairman Matherly to defer those as not likely of rising to the level of an essential function of the government to hear those reports. So those matters will be put forward when we meet again. I don't have any formal report for you. If you have any questions about the Johnson City interlocal agreement or anything, I hope you'll just pick up the phone and give me a call. I'm happy to walk you through that. And to your question, Commissioner Jones, the executive order of the governor that we're operating electronically under expires midnight on May 18th. And so that is the executive order that allows this governing body to meet electronically. So that's the answer to that question you just posed as well.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Allison. Any questions for Allison before we let her go? Right, thank you very much. Right, our next report is Ms. Minnick, our Health Department Director.
I don't have a formal report for you tonight. Just did want to update you all that we received a memo Friday from our Department of Human Resources at the state level asking us to maintain our work from home and minimize staff through May 26th. So we're going to continue to do that. And we're continuing to operate out of our COOP plan. And until that has been decided to be terminated, then we'll continue to do business as we are right now.
All right. Any questions for Director Mitty?
No, but I wanted you all to know that Jack and I went to the health department for our COVID tested and drove right through. It was wonderful.
Good. I'm glad to hear that feedback. We tested, I think it was 66 people today. So we're continuing to have pretty high numbers of people coming through. Most are not symptomatic. They just know that the test is available to them. And so they want to take advantage of getting that done. So we're glad to serve that way.
Good. Thank you for all you're doing there at the health department, and you're an essential tool for us. And we appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
All right, our next item is Dr. Flannery. We've missed you.
Well, I've been around. Thank you, Chairman Matherly. As everybody knows, we are complying with the governor's request, and we are shut down for the rest of the school year. Our teachers are providing educational opportunities and curriculum-related activities for students through May the 22nd, which would have been the last day of this academic year. We will not see students in class again, August 3rd. That means they will have been out of school physically for 140 days. So that's going to be a long stretch for a lot of these kids. A lot has happened even though we're closed. I don't have a written report, but I'm willing to answer any questions anyone may have.
Is there any questions for Dr. Flannery? All right. Doctor, I just want to say thank you. I know school may be shut down, but you are doing a lot for our community, feeding those feeding programs, and the teachers are hard at it every day, and we appreciate that. We sure do.
We're putting out about 4,000 meals a day.
4,000 meals. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That means a lot right now to a lot of families. All right, and we'll be back to Dr. Flannery here in just a little while, I'm sure. But our next item is the beer board minutes of March the 5th are in your packet. Is that you, Commissioner Jones? It's the beer board? Or that's you? No, that's Commissioner
Seems like it
Malone.
would be, right?
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
I wonder why he thought that.
You never know.
Yeah, the minutes are there. We did have a meeting and a little administrative work. There was not a new permit. It was just an approval of a change in ownership of the one permit in one location. So unless there's questions, that's all.
All right. Any questions on the beer board meeting for Commissioner Malone? All right. Thank you, Commissioner. Our next item is the CIA committee meeting. Commissioner Carragher, was there?
Thank you. So I've got it unmuted, but thank you, Mr. Chairman. We had two meetings, one in-person meeting on March 5th, and then one done electronically on April 2nd. I'd be glad to answer any questions anybody has.
Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciate you taking on those, working that out for the Industrial Development Board. And I know you've had to pick up a couple of your committee, and I thank you for doing that.
Glad to do that.
All right, seeing no questions. Our next item is the Employee Compensation and Benefits Committee. Commissioner McAllister, I didn't hardly recognize you.
Well, I'm here. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You'll find our notes from the March meeting on page 33, and also from the April meeting on page 37. You'll know we discussed about having to help our employees. That was one of the things we discussed, and we voted on that, the amendment to the basic personal employee handbook. Also tonight, one of the things we would like to discuss with you, and I'm going to bring to your resolution here in just a minute, is our insurance renewals. But before I do that, if it's okay with you, Mr. Chairman, I'd like Michelle Stewart to kind of go over that with everyone, just to tell you where we stand before I present that resolution.
Absolutely.
Michelle, if you'd please kind of present that to our commission.
Thank you. First, I want to say it is my honor and privilege to bring you renewal this year. In years past, I sometimes didn't come before you with a smile on my face or happy news because we needed to increase cost to the employees or increase cost to the county fairly drastically. But this year we are coming in under our projections, and the projections for next year are looking amazing. If you will look in your packet on page 40, I do have the budget estimates from the broker. On the far right-hand column, we did anticipate stop loss being at a higher rate than what it has now came in as. So our numbers on that far right column reflect the estimate that we presented to the committee in the April meeting. Many of you that have been through this process before, stop loss numbers don't get finalized until about the middle of April. So we always present to the Employee Benefits Committee a little higher estimate than what we think it will be. Then before the April commission meeting, we have those numbers firmed up. So we do have those firmed up. But on page 40 is where we're at and what we're looking at. The stop loss numbers have came in at $40,000 less than our estimate. It's actually an 8.1% decrease over current. Those numbers are on page 159. There are 3 pages of stop loss, but the first page is page 159 is the recommendation that was before the committee, that was also sent to budget showing that 8.1% decrease. Stop loss has just came in better because we've not had any claims that have hit stop loss this year, which is $200,000. The committee did approve the numbers that we presented them in April with that increased stop loss, but we now have reflected those numbers for that decrease. We have also built in the estimate, put aside some money for reserves. We are looking at the reserve having a balance of 3.3 million. And then insurance cost in the next year, we're looking at a slight increase of less than $400,000 basically, which is phenomenal in the market that we're in with our employee population. So I want to certainly give kudos and thanks to the employees and dependents that are making wise choices on their health plan. We are one of the very few companies that are able to maintain premiums that the employees pay at no increase and have no changes to their benefit package. So I think that's phenomenal, and it speaks to the point that our clinic is being successful, our employees are being mindful, and they're looking at impacting their health and wellness. Do you have any questions about the renewal or the stop loss that I can answer?
Mr. Chairman, if there are no questions, I would like to go ahead and present resolution 2004-11 renewing the county's health care benefits for fiscal year 2020-2021. Form of a motion.
Motion made by Commissioner McAllister, seconded by Commissioner Loan to approve the resolution. Discussion or questions? Michelle, how much was that reserve fund balance again?
We anticipate by the end of this fiscal year, it'll be 3.3 million. We anticipate adding 500,000 from this plan year.
Well, that's awesome. I remember when we first started it, and I had no idea that we'd be at this level already. So great job.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All right. Seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Light,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly, England,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carriger,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Hester,
Yes.
McAllister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Commissioner Matherly, did you vote?
Yes, ma'am. I fell out there just a minute, but I vote yes.
Okay, 15 yes.
All right, 15 yes, and the resolution passes. Anything else, Commissioner McAllister?
Just, Mr. Chairman, just want to again thank Michelle Stewart. Again, that just shows what a great job she and all the employees have worked together to get better health. I think they need to be applauded, all the employees, especially Michelle, for doing such a great job.
I
You
do
don't
too.
see that happen very often. So really appreciate it. So unless there are any other questions to me, that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you so much, Commissioner McAllister. Any questions for Commissioner McAllister? All right, seeing none. Our next item is our Health, Education, and Welfare Committee. Commissioner Edens?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You'll find our minutes on page 58 and page 60 in your packet of the last two meetings we've had. We have one resolution to consider. It'd be resolution number 20-3-05. Resolution authorizing the purchase of a 75-inch Viewsonic panels estimated between 53 and 60 units. This is from money that was already budgeted in the amount of $203,799, and I bring that before the commission in the form of a motion, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Edens made the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Lott to approve the resolution. Discussion or questions? We do have Mr. Fulbright here with us from the Department of Education, and Curtis runs a mean ship over there with these panels, and Dr. Flannery is here as well. If you have any questions. Curtis, thank you for being here. Dr. Flannery, it looks like you're going to get off the hook.
Thank you, folks.
Madam Clerk, seeing no questions, if you will call the roll.
Light,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carriger,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tester,
Yes.
McAllister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
15 yes.
15 yes, and the resolution passes. Is there any other questions for Commissioner Edens? Seeing none, thank you very much, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Our next item is the Rules Committee. Commissioner Tester.
Commissioner Matherly is the public.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Commissioner, I couldn't hear you.
Chairman is the Public Safety Committee before Rules.
It is, but I've missed that one, so let me back up. Commissioner Wheeler, he just wanted to put you on the spot before him. That's what it was.
We can handle it.
All right. So that's the Public Safety Committee.
You'll find our minutes on page 77 of the packet. Nothing to report unless there are questions.
Right. Any questions for Commissioner Wheeler and the Safety Committee? All right. Seeing none, Commissioner Tester, we'll come back to you.
All right. I tried to put that off on Mr. Wheeler.
Yeah, it just wasn't enough time, huh?
Now, our minutes from our March 5th meeting are on page 88. And just a few quick things, brief things I'd like to mention. We did our annual review of our public records policy, which is what Allison alluded to earlier, that she's going to hold off on giving her report on that until we're meeting in person. We did want to mention to all the commissioners in light of our discussion of that policy last year, if anybody has had any kind of issues getting records, any problems or whatever, please make those known to someone. And we want to remind everybody of that. And also wanted to quickly mention that we just recently added the new procedure for elections and appointments, and we had our first run of that in the CIA committee. And you may have noticed that in the March CIA minutes that are in our packet here, we had a few questions and kinks, but I think we worked out a pretty good solution to that. All what we decided was all the candidates' applications would be forwarded to the committee 7 days before their meeting when they were going to make their recommendation. And that way it gives the time for the committee to get input either from the organization that the appointments are for, or to talk directly to the candidates and so forth. So hopefully that will be a pretty smooth process going forward. And last thing I wanted to say was that we're not going to have an electronic meeting this week, but we may have a special one sometime in May, depending on how things go. So that's all I have. If anybody has any questions.
All right, thank you so much. I think the committee appointments went well, and I guess some trial and error is going to be what it takes to get that worked out. Any questions for Commissioner Tester or anyone there with the Rules Committee? All right, seeing none, the Washington County Library Board of Trustees did meet March the 10th. The mayor is our representative on there, and those minutes are in your packet on page 113 if we have any questions for the mayor or the library board. Seeing none, we'll move on to the Budget Committee. Commissioner Wheeler.
Okay, settle in. This will take a while. You'll find minutes from our March 11th, April 8th, and April 9th meetings beginning at page 134 of your packet. And then our April 15th meeting on page 152 of your packet. We have a number of resolutions for your consideration this evening. The first is found at page 167 of your packet, resolution number 20-3-3, resolution approving funding and feasibility study associated with redevelopment of Ash Street Courthouse Building contingent upon matching contribution by Johnson City Development Authority. That comes as a motion from the committee.
Motion made by Commissioner Wheeler. Do I have a second?
I'll second that. This is Jones.
Seconded by Commissioner Jones. Discussion?
Mr. Chairman, if I may, there is a correction that I think is needed to the resolution, in that on near the bottom of page 167, it references not the last paragraph on that page, but the next to last. It references that the funding would be provided to the Johnson City Development Authority. And actually, that funding will be joint between the county and the JCDA to the Heritage Alliance. The Heritage Alliance, as a partner on this project, they will actually be the ones to receive payment and then order and manage that feasibility study. So that one correction, if I may.
Allison, would we may need to amend that, or can we just have that as a correction?
I think we can have that as a correction, and the signed resolution will reflect it. Thank you for noticing, Commissioner Malone.
I'll make that correction part of my motion.
Thank you. Commissioner Jones? You're still a second?
I would definitely second the correction included with my second.
Thank you. Any further questions or discussion?
Chairman, I've got a question. This is Commissioner Harris.
Commissioner Harris?
Yes, on this Ash Street Courthouse project, what use do we have with that building? I know that 911 moved out of it, and I can't understand why we're wanting to spend money on something unless we have a use for it. So what is our use for the county?
I think right now, with the governor approving the money for revitalization of that building, I think that's just kind of where we're getting them started. I think we had some money appropriated for the roof. just to stabilize the building. Mayor, do you want to weigh in on this project?
Right, so we actually have money in the capital appropriation plan for the roof, which I've recently taken out because I don't think I think that could well be covered in the money that the governor is going to fund that project with. And this little bit of money is going to be used to actually determine what the best and highest use of that facility might be. As you know, it is a county building, and what the governor had in mind offering a grant of $5 million to renovate it was to promote and develop economic activity using that building. So I think that this study will, go in the direction of the actual question as to what the best use of that building might be.
So, but currently it is a county building right now, right, Mayor?
It is a county building, and we have responsibility for it, for sure.
Okay. So I guess
Chairman,
Commissioner Harris, it kind of is to develop some kind of plan what to do with it. I guess would be the best answer to your
Chairman,
question.
could I ask another question?
Absolutely.
Okay. I guess, if it's a county building, we've not used it in a long time, and I realize that building would go back to the federal government. It was a former post office, so I just don't understand why we're spending money on something that we really don't even have a use for, especially during these times. And, the building, to me, should be marketed and sold and put out for some private person to develop, not us, because I don't think that we've got the money to do it. And, we had a list of priorities that we all wrote things out on, which I've never seen the results of that, but I was sort of alluded to at our last CIA meeting that we had in person that this was not one of the priorities that made the top of that list. We've got water projects and many other things I think we should be looking at before we look at this. I know $2,500 is not a lot of money, but it just opens us up for a never-ending expense that I see coming. And I'm not even in favor of the governor spending $5 million of our tax dollars on that building without even a need. So I'm not in favor of that either, but that's just my opinion, and I appreciate the time to speak.
Mayor, would we be able to recoup the $2,500 out of the $5 million if that transpired?
Yeah, I think we probably would be able to do that for sure. And on page 140 in the packet is the results of that survey. So it might have just, it's a lot of pages in this packet. But anyway, if you want to know what that looks like, that is where you will find it in this particular packet. And obviously,
Well, Mayor, I have a problem sometimes with vision. I've looked over it and I must have missed that, but could you tell me right now how that rated with the survey we had? On our list of priorities, where was that at?
I can answer. This is Commissioner Jones. I remember that this particular building was at the bottom of the list of capital priorities. Is that the question you're asking, Commissioner Harris?
Yes, I guess I overlooked it. I mean, we had nearly 200 pages of stuff to look at, so
Yeah,
I'm sorry I missed it, but
it was
that's the
in
first
there.
I've ever seen it.
Yeah, it was in there.
We took it.
And specifically, the roof was listed at the bottom, but the project has really evolved to the point now where there's all this public and private interest in developing it. And so it's really not about the roof anymore. It's about determining the viability of developing for the community and making it available to a number of partners that would be interested in funding its development, so it doesn't fall on the shoulders of the county fully. So for this small amount of money, we basically say we're willing to investigate its viability in partnership with all of these other community partners and see if it's something that we can go forward on.
We do have Mrs. Toole with us this evening, and Mrs. G. Fowlers that is here to answer any questions that you would have about the building and maybe their outlook of it. They have kind of been leading the way on putting these things together.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman, for recognizing them. Just to Commissioner Harris's point, I guess, you know, I wish it were as easy as let's market the building and sell it to a third-party developer and that be done. But the reality is the building would likely sit for years before it reverted back to the federal government. And then once it reverted back to the federal government, it would likely sit for additional years before anything ever happened. And so you're looking at years passing while the building sits there and deteriorates. Personally, I'm not supportive of the county spending significant dollars on the courthouse without knowing a purpose. And that's really the purpose of the goal of the feasibility study, is to help foster ideas, funding, and who the participants might be in the project. And so I agree, and I almost don't even see the capital projects, the survey being an issue, apart from the fact we are spending $2,500, but this gets us to a point where, you know, maybe the county doesn't spend significant capital dollars on the project because of the funding from the state and other participants, some of which, again, might be determined through this feasibility study.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Ford?
I'd like to say that one of my concerns, and my only concern right now at this point, for $2,500, that's just a drop in the bucket to what I just don't want this project to turn into another white elephant project we had before. And we spent millions of dollars on it and wound up with very little to show for it. Taxpayers come out in the short end of the stick with that. I just don't want to see us do that again.
Well, I don't think that's been our intention. I think, you know, the feasibility study is something that you know, it is what it is. It's determine the feasibility of what we could do, you know, or what those options are out there. One of the reasons with the Heritage Alliance and them leading the charge on this project, and when Megan came and talked to us some time ago, was you know, to kind of move this project in the hands of public and private partnership, that you know, that they could lead the charge.
Chairman, this is Commissioner Harris again.
Yes, sir, Commissioner.
I appreciate the discussion, and I'll just end it with this. You know, like I said, at this point in time, of course, I'm going to vote no on this, but you know, $2,500 is not a lot of money, but I can see us going down a slippery slope. And if I had any influence with the governor, which I probably have none, I would encourage him to say no on this as well, because $5 million could go a long way with a lot of other projects. I think they're dear and near to a lot of us on our priority list, which one being water for people in the county that don't have any. And that's all I'll say at this point, but I appreciate the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Commissioner. And you and Megan came down tonight or came on tonight anyway. How's that? And I definitely want to give you just a few minutes to speak and let us know your intentions and that. And I appreciate you coming and being here with us.
Yeah, well, no, we really appreciate you guys having us and all the work y'all are doing. You know, there's a lot of interest in this building. We're currently still working on the National Register nomination, but the Tennessee Historical Commission is very interested in it and preserving the building and it finding, you know, a new use. we hope to have that submitted by the 1st of June so it can be considered for listing on the National Register in September, which of course if it gets listed, and we're very hopeful it will, then it'll be open for, preservation grants that will also help, offset the cost of fixing it up and finding it a new life. But we're just, the Heritage Alliance is very thankful to have this opportunity to help, save this building and to be working with the county and the JCDA and also the South Side group. There's just a lot of community interest in helping to save this building.
Right. Thank you, Ann. Megan?
You're muted.
You got to turn yourself up, Megan. You're muted.
Oh.
There you go.
My husband wish I had that function. I just want to thank you all so much for your leadership during this time. First and foremost, thank you for everything you're doing. And I realize that with everything going on, this may seem like it wouldn't be a priority, but I don't know if a lot of folks realize how valuable this building is. Not only do we not have a lot of buildings like this in our region, we don't have a lot of buildings like this across the country. So when it was built, it was worth $2.5 million alone, let alone the renovation. So it's an asset to the county, and it's a great thing that we have it at our disposal. I definitely appreciate people's concerns about what to do moving forward, but the great thing about a feasibility study is it's a big part of historic preservation, but of development. And a lot of people are going to want to know, what can I do with this building? What does it need? So it's a very practical step to make sure that we're saving something that we can't get back and would be a great asset for us to have in the future. So there is a practical reason why we're asking, I promise. But thank you all for your time so much.
All right. We look forward to the results of the feasibility study. Commissioner Wheeler?
Mr. Chairman, I just want to say I am going to vote in favor of this tonight because I think the feasibility study will give us some idea whether the county should be participating and at what level. But also, I do want to say that I do agree with some of what Commissioner Harris is saying as far as $5 million could go a long way on some of the priorities. I'm not aware that we've identified monies for some of these water projects that are critical to a portion of our county and are on our top 3 priority list. Of course, the way this came about really was not led by the county necessarily in requesting this. So I think we have to look at that when we get the feasibility study back. But I will be voting in favor of moving forward with the feasibility study tonight.
All right. Any further questions or comments?
Call for question.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, if you will call the roll on this item, please.
White,
No.
Harris,
No.
Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Edens,
No.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carragher,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tester,
Yes.
McAllister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford.
No.
11 yes, 4 no. 11 yes, 4 no.
11 yes and 4 no, and the resolution passes. Back to you, Commissioner Wheeler.
Our next resolution is found at page 174 of your packet, Resolution 20-3-7, resolution amending fiscal year budget 2019-2020 regarding property assessor, 3 additional audits required by the state of Tennessee on business personal property. This comes before you as a motion from the committee.
Motion made by Commissioner Wheeler. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Malone. We do have Mr. Buckingham here with us tonight. If you have any questions, is there any questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman, did he say resolution 7 because 6 is before that on the agenda?
Yes, he did. We must have missed 6. But we'll back up and get it here in just a second. Any questions for Commissioner Buckingham? Mr.
I do
Buckingham?
have one question, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Commissioner Tester.
Can Mr. Buckingham explain why these additional audits are being required? Do we know that?
It's based off of personal property accounts, and there was an increase in personal property accounts, which increased it by 3. The state does a random each year. They choose the accounts. We just make sure they're not duplicating from the year before, and we don't want anybody to be audited in the last 2 or 3 years, but that was due to the increase in the personal property accounts, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right, any other questions? Seeing or hearing none, Madam Clerk, will you call the roll on this item, please?
Light,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carriger,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tester,
Yes.
McAllister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
15 yes.
15 yes, and the resolution passes. And Mr. Wheeler, I guess we need to back up one, don't we?
Yes, sir. I apologize. I marked off that resolution before we got to it. That would be found on page 171 of your packet, resolution number 20-3-6. Resolution authorizing the appropriation of funds for the renovation of the clinic nursing pods to better accommodate families. Here as a recommendation and motion from the committee.
Motion made by Commissioner Wheeler, seconded by, we have a second. Commissioner Malone. Okay, we'll open the floor up for discussion.
Is it for the health department? And on Princeton?
That's correct.
Thank you.
All right. Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Light,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carriger,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tester,
Yes.
McAllister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
15 yes.
$15 yes, and the resolution passes. All right, our next item, Commissioner Wheeler.
Our next resolution is found at page 177 of your packet, resolution number 20-3-8. A resolution amending fiscal year budget 2019-2020 regarding highway department to cover overage in line item to purchase 4 snowplows.
Right, the motion from Commissioner Wheeler. To have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Lott. Discussion or questions? Mr. Deacon's on the line with us.
Call for question.
Question's been called. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Light,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carriger,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tester,
Yes.
McAllister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
15 yes.
15 yes, and the resolution passes. Commissioner Wheeler?
Our next resolution is found on page 181 of your packet, resolution number 20-3-9. Resolution amending fiscal year budget 2019-2020 regarding reclassifying codes compliance legal services account to the county attorney legal services. This comes as a recommendation from the committee and a motion.
Right, any questions?
Chairman, I've got a question. This is Commissioner Harris.
Yes, Commissioner Harris.
Could I ask for what purpose that $25,000 is being moved into the county attorney's line item, for what expense and purpose?
It's being moved. We had moved some money over to codes compliance from that line item when we were paying for that to an outside firm. Now that that's been brought back in-house, we're just moving that money back from codes compliance to the county attorney's line item for outside legal services. So we're just moving it back from where we moved it as a result of no longer using an outside firm for those codes compliance issues.
Do we have an expected expense for that money, or is it money we think will be surplus at the end of the year?
Very likely some of it will be surplus. Again, what we were doing was just moving it back to where it came from.
I guess my concern, I know we've had some changes with our legal services, which I think is doing very well. I appreciate our county attorney. I think she's doing a fine job, but we've also got Bobby France out there doing a fine job as well. And I just want to make sure that we think about him as we move forward, because we have taken away some of his help, and he's doing a lot of stuff on his own now. So I just hope we're not taking money away that could hurt his budget down the road.
And we're looking at that whole operation, both the budget committee and I think in addition to that, HEW to a certain degree is, but budget committee certainly looking at that as the budget process. And the county attorney's budget is being looked at with respect to additional workload that is created by bringing that back in-house.
That's good. I would just say, for people who live in the city, don't realize how important Bobby is to people in the county. I had a resident down in my area in Limestone that was dealing with some neighbors who just really had a terrible mess. I mean, it was awful, and he was able to straighten that out and help, and I think he does a fine job. So he's very valuable. So I hope we look at that, and I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
All right, did I hear a call for the question?
Here it is.
I'm sure glad to hear it. All right, Madam Clerk, if you'll call the roll, please.
Light,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Gerald,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yeah.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carriger,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tester,
Yes.
McAllister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford.
Yeah.
15 yes.
15 yes, and the resolution passes. Commissioner Wheeler?
Our next resolution is found at page 184 of your packet, resolution number 20-3-11. A resolution approving the Washington County self-funded employee health fund reserve policy. This is here as a motion from the committee.
Motion made by Commissioner Wheeler, Do I have a second? Second by Commissioner McAllister. Discussion or questions?
Call for question.
Question's been called. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
White. White.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Edens.
Yes.
Davenport.
Yes.
Matherly.
Yes.
England.
Yes.
Malone.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Carragher.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Tester.
Yes.
McAllister.
Yes.
Wheeler.
Yes.
Ford. Ford.
Yes.
15 yes.
15 yes, and the resolution passes. Commissioner Wheeler?
Our next resolution is found at page 188 of your packet, resolution number 20-4-5. A resolution amending fiscal year budget 2019-2020 regarding the Highway Department, Glendale Design, and Glendale Road and State Route 81 intersection design. This comes as a motion from the committee.
That's made by Commissioner Wheeler, seconded by
Commissioner Malone.
Commissioner Malone. Discussion or questions?
Call for the question.
Question's been called. Madam Clerk, if you will call the roll, please.
White.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Edens.
Yes.
Davenport.
Yes.
Matherly.
Yes.
England.
Yes.
Malone.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Carragher.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Tester.
Yes.
McAllister.
Yes.
Wheeler.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
15 yes.
15 yes, and the resolution passes. Commissioner Wheeler?
Our next resolution is found at page 192 of your packet, resolution number 20-4-06. That is a resolution approving appropriation of funds to Northeast State Community College for Washington County dual enrollment / scholarship funding. That comes as a recommendation from the committee.
Motion made by Commissioner Wheeler. Did you second the motion, Commissioner Light?
Oh, but I will.
Okay, thank you. All right, discussion or questions? Seeing none. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Light.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Edens.
Yes.
Davenport.
Yes.
Matherly.
Yes.
England.
Yes.
Malone.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Carragher.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Tester.
Yes.
McAllister.
Yes.
Wheeler.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes. Yes.
15 yes.
15 yes, and the resolution passes. I think the next one is the one we deferred. Isn't that correct, Commissioner Wheeler?
Yes, sir. So we'll move to page 208 of your packet, resolution 20-4-8. This is something new that we're required to do by state law this year. This is a resolution making revenue estimates and determining the level of revenue necessary to establish a budget for the operation of county schools. This comes as a motion from the committee.
All right. Motion made by Commissioner Wheeler. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Malone. Discussion? Questions? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, if you'll call the roll, please.
Light,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carragher,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Hester,
Yes.
McAllister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
15 yes.
15 yes, and the resolution passes. Anything else, Commissioner Wheeler?
One more resolution on
Oh,
page
yes, on the other page.
210. Resolution number 20-4-09, a resolution to request unclaimed balance of accounts remitted to state treasurer under Unclaimed Property Act. Here's a motion from the committee.
Motion by Commissioner Wheeler. We have a second.
Second, Carragher.
Second by Commissioner Carragher. Discussion or questions? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Light,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carragher,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tester,
Yes.
McAllister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
15 yes.
Thank you. 15 yes, and the resolution passes.
That concludes our
Anything else,
report,
Commissioner?
Chairman. No, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Wheeler. All right, we do not have any old business to report. We do have a couple of resolutions. Number 200310 is a resolution approving the election of notaries for appointment or reappointment for Washington County, Tennessee. We'll just take these separately unless, yeah, I think we'll just take these separately. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Commissioner McAllister, seconded by Commissioner Jones to approve the resolution. Discussion or questions? Madam Clerk, if you'll call the roll, please.
Light,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Gerald,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams, Carragher,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tester,
Yes.
McAllister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Williams, 14 yes, 1 no response.
14 yes, and the resolution passes. The next resolution is Resolution 2410. Is a resolution approving the election of notaries public for appointment or reappointment for Washington County, Tennessee. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved, Davenport.
Motion made by Commissioner Davenport,
Second, Carragher.
second by Commissioner Carragher. To approve the resolution. Discussion or questions? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Light,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carriger,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tester,
Yes.
McAllister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
15 yes.
15 yes, and the resolution passes.
Go get your
All right,
weight
our next
picture.
item.
I think it's a problem.
Our next item is discussion of our weekly meeting schedule. We do have a meeting scheduled for this Wednesday, I think was our discussion. And do you want to continue meeting? Do you want to meet this Wednesday, yes or no? Or do we want to meet the next Wednesday? Commissioner Jones?
I feel like my recommendation was that we don't meet this Wednesday since we had a meeting tonight. And then if the emergency orders continue, then we would meet again next Wednesday.
Okay.
Well, next Wednesday be the night before the committees.
Yes, it would be, I think.
No.
Committees are meeting this Thursday.
It'd be the next week. It'd be the next Thursday, right?
Committees are this week.
Yeah,
This week.
meeting on the 30th.
Yeah, it would be the next Wednesday after this Thursday.
Those regular sessions, well, I mean, it seems like about eight should be like.
Mr. Chairman, my preference is not to meet this Wednesday, but to meet on the 6th.
That would be my preference as well.
Same here.
Do we have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Motion. Do I have a second to that motion?
Second.
Yes.
Second by Commissioner Wheeler. Any further discussion or questions about or another opinion? Madam Clerk, if you would call the roll on our meeting on the next on the 6th at 6 p.m.
Light,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carriger,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Yes.
McAllister,
Yes.
Wheeler,
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
All right. How many was that, Madam Clerk?
Yes.
15 yes. And that motion passes, and we'll meet on the 6th. Also, a few things. Remember, these meetings are essential, so we're not really doing all the business that we should be conducting. So when we do meet again together, me and Allison are saving all these things. So just remember, we will have an extended meeting when we come together here in the near future. Also, I want to take just a moment to thank Lisa and Sherry and Susan for all their hard work behind the scenes, and they do so much for us through the week just to get us to here and spend a few moments together. But it takes them a lot of time during the week to do that. And I want to make sure we thank them for all that they do. Our cutoff is for our next month's meeting agenda is Thursday, May the 14th at 12 noon.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Commissioner Wheeler.
One other announcement, public safety will be meeting at 5 o'clock on Thursday. Some of you have had an interest in the forensic center contract, and we will be looking at that. It comes up for renewal another month or two here. So, and there will be a representative from the forensic center at our meeting. So if any of you have questions and want to join that meeting, I want to make sure you are aware of it.
Yeah, I'll sure try to be there. All right, any further questions before we adjourn? Seeing none, got Commissioner, our County Attorney, Allison.
Chairman, I heard Robin, I don't say that the committee meetings will be this Thursday, April 30th, to allow for the earlier in the month date for Memorial Day. So Commissioner Wheeler brought up the public safety, but there are other committee meetings going forward. So if you'll check your inboxes, that'll be coming out, and they're on the website as well. So thank you. I'm sorry to pull the meeting out a little extra minute there.
No, it's fine. We'll cover that for sure. All right. We have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Yes.
Motion by Commissioner Carriger, second by Commissioner Light to adjourn. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll for to adjourn, please?
Yes.
Harris. Davenport.
Yes.
Matherly.
Yes.
Eaton.
Yes.
Malone.
Yes.
Williams.
Here, yes.
Carriger.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Esther.
Yes.
McAllister.
Yes.
Wheeler.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Yes, 2 absent.
How many yes?
13.
13. I sure hope we're keeping these meetings archived. We are adjourned, and thank you all, and have a good night.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
I didn't hear